G'day, putters. Welcome to the Deep Dive, powered by puntingform.com.au. Myself and Jackson here at Mailbag HQ. Ciurleo up there in Queensland, Mailbag HQ, fighting off a severe case of the man flu, but improving. Chance of running Wednesday. And Pistol Pete circuiting like a god. Apparently he dominated Northam. So, boys, we'll start with you, Pistol. How are you?
Yeah, good. Northam, as you said, Northam Cup was an entertaining race. There was a massive tip-on course for Captain Chaos. Was off like a frog in a sock and in the end pissed in. But having said that, there was a few unlucky runners behind it. But the internet was, shall we say, reminiscent of the 1990s out there. So it was actually quite enjoyable just stripping it back and having a few bets in cash. And yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Are you looking at God?
We're having a look at the lights currently.
I was doing this on Saturday at about whatever, 5:12, and I kept doing it for like another 35 minutes, but it didn't work. So further proof he doesn't exist. But overall,
fucking God.
What?
No. We're talking about you now, are we?
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll just go. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm responding to a question from the host about Gordon. I don't think he exists, and I don't think he existed on Saturday. Are we just going to talk about Moonee Valley, or do you want to talk about anything else?
Let's just talk about Moonee Valley, because I don't think anyone else... There's been no other noise from anywhere else around the country. I mean, did Randwick even happen there on Saturday? I don't think so.
Well, we didn't see any horses probe before the invitation on Channel 7.
Yeah.
Well, there's only
and
one
then we
reason.
saw the retaliation in the paper, Shane.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Robert Cram and the honchos at RV deliberately stalled the protest hearing to coincide to the start of the invitation. It was fucking brilliant. Full
credit to Robert Cram for thinking on his feet like that.
Full credit. Anyway, who cares? The invitation, it was goat shit racing in Sydney all weekend, and I won't even be watching the Victims of the Punch show to review it either. Back to you, Jack. Sorry, Peter. Didn't mean to say that. Edit it out.
Were they your thongs on the Twitter post where you were going through the the punter's paper?
No comment.
No comment.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's actually talk about the Cox Plate. First of all, can we start with the betting? Because again, for what is it, the third year running, the last 20 seconds of betting, 30 seconds of betting was just bang on. I thought the Betfair SP, when it lobbed straight after the race at $6.78, must have been wrong, given the tote prices. It wasn't wrong. How good are the Irish?
It was unbelievable.
You go.
Yeah, I'm just getting it up at the moment.
It didn't happen until the very, very
the death.
The death.
It was the death.
Right.
And they just know, don't they? Every year they know, whether the horse should have won or not, it still ran an enormous race, and they knew it was going to run an enormous race. Like we said on the previous show, basically in all the majors in Victoria, you basically can back the horse you like, but you need to have a bullet or two left to back the international steamer.
Yeah, well, a couple of the corporates, like the tabs closed $8. Like, it was unbelievable the last sort of couple of minutes on the fair. They've just absolutely steamed it. I thought they'd come for Animo like a lot more than they did. Whether that was sort of track conditions or anything of the sort, but the market didn't trend as I thought it would.
I thought a big factor of the market and the unsureness of which way to go with the locals was it looked like it was going to be heavier than it was because of the rain. Like you saw the rain on TV and no one's there, and they were getting off the fence, but they're still saying and the numbers look like it wasn't that heavy.
Yeah,
but at the time,
it could have been a heavy eight.
It's like five more minutes of rain away from being bottomless.
Yeah, and you go, Shane.
No. You keep going about the betting. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say, like as we saw on All-Star Day, like the track was rated as a soft 6 and it was a heavy 10. So like, even though the rating was a soft 5, we didn't really know if it was a soft 5, if it was a heavy 8. Like, we just, you have no idea until they run.
Well, and as we learn I learned on Sunday via listening to theracing.com when they had Sir Robert Cram on, and shout out to Michael Walker, the only bloke who actually asked him a question. They said obviously it wasn't a unanimous decision if it took 35 minutes.
Yeah, and there was no comment was pretty much the answer.
Oh, he also copped another pearler. Do you treat this the same as you do a protest at, say, Kyneton? Oh, no, mate, we do it a bit different. Like, honestly.
Isn't that the problem with the protest overall? Like, if it's not unanimous, then it can't be upheld.
Correct.
That's just as simple as it is. Like, it was basically 50-50. Like, everyone's got an opinion. Maybe it's not 50-50, whatever. But there's enough doubt as much as there is confidence it should have been overturned, in which case it cannot be upheld. And I think it's just that simple.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know Ico has a different opinion, but it has to be beyond reasonable doubt and with the contradicting opinions from sort of everybody. But, I don't think you can say 100% that Animo would have won the race without the interference. So it has to be dismissed. Although at the time, I was praying that wasn't going to be the case.
I think that the biggest thing that I've sort of taken from it is they don't take. He said it on the TV. They don't take into consideration lanes, which when you're going to have, which we all agree is probably the greatest race in Australia, which is the 18th race of a carnival, and it often rains. There's going to be lanes, and I believe he was pushed into inferior lanes. Like the race after this, we saw a horse grow absolute wings, and it wasn't near the fence.
Yep.
And the like archaic way they measure things. They don't have any data to say how fast they were actually going or were they stopping. And then when you look at the data, the punting form data, despite the Cox Plate being the fastest run race to the 600 all day, Animo's the third fastest last 400 metres of the day with that knock. And when the margin's that small and the other horse interferes with him, I think it should be upheld. That's my view. I don't really care that much. I was just as sick or more sick about Floating Artist, to be honest. But but we had a big day anyway, so I think. Sorry, Shane?
I think when it comes to protests, basically if OJ got off, any protest should be dismissed. Talking about reasonable doubts. So I think the story of the Cox Plate is like almost a runner by runner analysis here including the horses that were scratched. Beyond bizarre circumstances which led to the 8 horses taking their place on the day. Beyond bizarre. The narrative that was trotted out was like... So I said beyond bizarre?
Yeah.
I've said that, have I? Yeah. Yep. I'm like 99% of the population and don't listen to Matt on RSN as well. But... even the talk post-race as well, I think is worth discussing about the quality of state of rest. When we did the preview show, I couldn't find a box really to tick for it apart from O'Brien. And obviously with Zaki and Gold, the best horse, I think, Gold Trip, being a late scratching, completely turned the race on its head. And I suppose those horses that do come out here aren't the A-graders of Joseph or Daddy's stable. Right, because the best ones there are winning UK derbies, whatever you call them, aren't they?
I don't know.
So the very next best are winning Cox Plates, and the very next best horses in their stables are better than ours.
Yeah, but there's been there was a large period of time where they don't compete, they don't win the Cox Plate. Like Winks, So You Thinks, they don't win them. They come and pinch some. The Japanese horse was like the most impressive, probably we've seen outside of Winks recently.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that our horses at the moment, just like our horses over a mile and longer, just aren't very good. You got your Probabills, like Animo, Dalasan, like all of these sort of horses, they're just not particularly good in comparison to champions.
There's no prize money there though compared. If it was as bad as everyone says, there'd be more of them coming. Because Very Elegant beat that a day, who's competitive over there. Very Elegant was like last in run, which isn't her go, has run a competitive number again.
Yeah.
The winner of this race has had 2 goes 1,600 metres or further for 2 Group 1s, and the figure is comparable to like Liz Crusoe and Winks. I think everyone just beats on the locals a little bit too much. I think it's
I don't know. I think we've got to stop being mugs and just make sure that every international that comes here is not a losing position. I think.
Yeah. That's exactly how I was going to finish it. We sort of talked on the show about which one they're going to back, and the only thing we fucked up was not sending a bet on it.
Yeah,
because by the time on race day, there's only one they were likely going to back. Because there's only 2 in there.
Yeah, there's only 2 in, and the other one was...
It's not even really an import. It's just like another probable. So, yeah. Oh, that was bad by us.
Oh, awful.
Live and learn.
Yeah, awful.
So did we get to the bottom of Zaki's temperature?
No, we didn't. And, yeah.
Would you like to comment on that, Shane?
No. I've listened to the radio interviews and read. It's like... I was probably asking myself more questions than answers, but I didn't like the horse on the day anyway. So, full credit to everybody that laid it in the all-in market. And then Gold Trip. Well, I don't know. Like everyone's going to have an opinion on that. Unfortunately, the only one that is worth listening to is the vet, and the vet said it's not fit to race, so it's scratched.
I think it's all Jared Waitley's fault.
What? Blame Jared.
Who?
Jared.
He's an easy target.
He's like thirst and pressure to have clickable content caused him to, although he's made a stack of money writing books about racing, to just go on a vendetta about the death rate in like the Melbourne Cup, which has caused them to overreact to this, which has put enormous pressure on people like Grace Forbes. If she says the horse is lame, she's not going to then go, oh no, the horse is okay the next day. As soon as she said it was like a bit off, it was definitely going to be scratched in my view, because they're not going to take the risk because there's no upside in it for them. The game is governed by self-interest. Grace Forbes doesn't care if the horse was bred on a farm and cost them nothing, or if they paid millions of dollars for it. She just wants every horse that starts to finish. That's
there's
her
also the possibility that she's a vet and it's lame.
Yeah, and I think that the judge will be if the horse runs in the Melbourne Cup, Shane, then I think she might have made a mistake. If it goes to Sydney or Queensland or somewhere and races next, then I reckon she was probably right. And that's how you can sort of govern it, judge
it. Am I right in saying there was talk a couple of weeks prior that there was a little issue with the horse, or whatever it was during track work, or
Yeah, there was. It's had issues since it walked off the plane.
Yeah. Jared Waitley's got a lot to answer for if you think about it. I mean, like Australians as a nation lost a bit of safety when the Smudge stopped making runs because he was rubbed out for a year and a half for not even doing anything, but for overseeing something that's happened in cricket for 40 years. Go and watch the 2005 Ashes. You see Simon Jones bending it around a corner.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
you've lost me.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Really enjoyed the head-on out of the barriers and watching Damien Lane's hands. Fuck, he's got good hands. See how he just fucking dropped his hands and made that horse relax straight out of the gate. I wouldn't say I'm a map genius, but I fucking told you. Straight out the back. Settled the best it's ever settled. Wasn't exposed with the tongue tie over racing. Ran very well, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it went huge. I think she's a champion.
Ran past a couple of whackers in Dallasan who I had something on, and Moanga, who's a whacker at 2,000. Probabile's a whacker at 2,000 on rain-affected track. Captivant getting questioned about the tactics was a fucking laugh. John Allen's ride was great. Craig was good.
He rode outstanding on Saturday.
Luke Nolan was that petrified he couldn't roll forward because the trainer put a big article on racing.com Friday night and the owner chimed in Saturday morning. And when Luke lobbed like he could lead, he absolutely shit himself because he thought, fuck, I'm not meant to be on speed here.
What a game.
What a sport, honestly.
Yeah. Isn't it the best?
But like, just to finish and the data.
Not Luke's fault either. That's
how good is Animo, do you think?
Probably close to the best we have in Australia.
I think so. I think
like at 2,000 meters.
If you watch the replay and you watched it live, I had the SOT here. We were sort of like, oh, we're cast at like the 800.
Yeah.
Which I think when you see the way it finished to the eye, but then when the data comes through, for it to clock the third fastest last 400 meters of the day is just enormous. But it looks like the horse sort of half relaxes too much, which might mean it can get even further. And the further it gets, like we've just been saying, the less the opposition gets.
Yep.
Oh, I think the horse still has upside and is a proper beast.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully it runs a few more races before it goes to stud.
Yeah.
Isn't it just nice to see a 3-year-old take on the older horses, though? Like, I mean, that's probably half the reason.
It made the race.
Yeah.
And even with the no horses, it was still like the greatest race of the day. That's been the best race of the carnival.
Yeah, but the rest of the races for the carnival were crap, so it's not saying much.
Yeah,
I thought they were fine.
I tell you what, though, aren't we thankful and full credit to Racing New South Wales for putting on the Golden Eagle, which ensure Animo won't be going to stud, and it'll ensure that he'll be contesting that race next year.
Yeah. Does
Credit,
money?
I
Yeah.
suppose.
Full credit to them.
Yeah.
Full credit to Jackson for Well, we had a strip out on Wednesday, which is always concerning. You are a better golfer than me, and I knocked you off match play Friday morning. And from that point, you just mentally got yourself sweet to dominate. It's the biggest weekend I've ever had gambling.
Yeah, ever. Me and mine too. So.
And to think like you missed a 4-footer to halve a match that morning.
It was 8 feet, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some racing. There was 4 Group 2s on this card. Did we learn anything of any importance from races 5 through 8?
Good question.
I think Gunstock's superior to Forgot You, just. I think there's runs in that Forgot You race that are full of merit, that like behind it. We back Spirited Gaylord, for example. I think that horse is on the up. It might be a little bit too early for it, but it can be followed. There was a lot of money for the Waller Oliver horse. I think it can be followed. Those two particularly there.
Floating Artist can win.
Fucking Christ. Like, what about the market? Look like we're off.
Yeah, I just lost.
You were gone.
I was gone.
We had a chat about 30 minutes before, and you sort of said, well, we've lost this, and you're moving on to the Cox Plate.
Yeah.
It's a really good horse, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah, it can win. I'm not sure what the race is called now. The old, there's a staying race on Derby Day, which is the golden ticket into the Melbourne Cup.
The Lexus, but not the Lexus anymore. It's probably named after another car.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Alexis, it can win that, and it can run top 3 in the Cup.
Can't fucking win with the same jock on.
I think, it won't have the same jock on, and full credit to the owners for putting him on, and full credit to the owners for letting the stable give him instructions which were poor, and full credit to them all for fucking up a soft win on a $1 million race. But then full credit to them for sacking him, and I just think T.O. deserves a little bit of sympathy because he would have been given instructions to ride for cover, which if you watch a race, it was just like... it was like... What's that game where you sit on the chairs? It's like that with Jai and they were all, I might go now.
Musical chairs.
Yeah, it's music. It was unbelievable. It was sickening to watch.
He got a lot of cover for about 2,400 metres of the 2,500 metre race, so he rode perfectly if those were the instructions.
Yeah, he wasn't alone on getting things wrong though on Saturday. He just really got one wrong on one that obviously should have won, so he's copped it. But I reckon the confusing tactics don't help him. Don't help young riders.
Well, I haven't heard the tactics, but yeah.
But clearly, the way he rode, they'll say get cover.
Yeah. Anyway, it can win the Lexus and it can run top 3 in the Cup. I think it's a proper horse.
Okay.
Top 3. There's 2 spots spare outside of Incentivize.
Yep. I agree with that.
Lovely.
One international probably, and then possibly another international.
There'll be no Melbourne Cup preview. It'll be just back the international and stop being a mug.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've got a ticket on Incentivise, then you've already backed it. So then just pick one of the internationals or 2.
Yeah.
And if
Wait
you're
for the
back
last
it,
30 seconds.
One international sort of.
I'm on all the internationals in the all-in markets that aren't going to get a start, so that's good.
Do you ever stop betting?
No, I was on the T20 last night. Oh fuck!
It's all that.
Can't Pakistan.
Just Folk won. That was pleasing.
That was very pleasing. I probably didn't press hard enough though on the second units end of it.
We did back her to win like 15 units. So.
Yeah,
Like
but
how
I
hard would you
almost
like
did
to go?
0.5 anyway.
Yeah, it was a great find by you guys.
I thought it was winning a long way out and a great ride by Big Johnny Boy.
Elephant back to New Zealand. That's good. We don't have to deal with it. Rhinoceros back as well. So.
Even better.
And so we finished the show, or this part of the show, with what in the fuck happened in race 10? Like, seriously. Because this horse has run a PB by 8 lengths. It was back to do it.
Mm.
It was like... It was
feel
like international versus local.
I feel like this horse, mate. I feel like Tom Dabenig made a mistake here. He probably should have had this in the Cox Plate. Fuck, it would have went close.
And then 2 starts ago at Ballarat, it got beat by Hickok, which we backed yesterday at Sale. It got beat by 6. So like
gapped into second.
Yeah, but like, what do you do? Like, what a game!
Track beat it yesterday.
I thought but that Ballarat meeting's a fat form reference.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
was just going to say that. It looks real red hot. But how good's Tom Dabney started his career? Like, he's had, 27 starts for 9 wins.
Yeah.
Credit has to go to him, I suppose.
Full credit to him for going out on his own and just doing the right thing and getting it done and getting horses to run 10-length PBs on the 19th race on track. Like, full credit to him.
Did anyone
also
ask
full
him?
credit to Brett Preble, who rode a winner on Wednesday at Geelong from that same Ballarat meeting and celebrated like he won the Cox Plate. So full credit to you, Brett. You are flying.
Yeah. Did anyone ask Tom how much he hated his job to go out on his own?
Yeah, I would like to. I'd like to have.
Genuinely, we'd love to know, because it's wasn't part of the succession plan supposedly.
Who cares?
And he's fucking left them. He's anyway enormous, going enormous.
He's going enormous.
You know, that was a $25,000 purchase, that winner from the Magic Millions, fucking whatever sale it was. Yeah, well, yeah. Anyway,
Book 6 for $25K. Fuck.
Yeah, amazing.
Generation and a big.
How did the sphincter tighten a little bit?
Not really. Thought we were always winning.
Yeah, so I thought, oh fuck, he's gone early.
No, well,
you thought he went perfect.
Yeah, I thought he went perfect. I thought it was 10 out of 10.
Trying a huge figure. All I've seen 6.5, 6.8.
Yeah.
So it's a great ride. I was wrong till the hour. But the sphincter tightened. And we needed a little bit of momentum early on a big day. This was our first proper bet.
Thompson.
Particularly with your head noise, used to. It's always.
I love it. Don't you love it? How this guy questions our head noise.
No, there's no way that I'm anywhere near the level. I was seeing the videos of you two playing golf on Friday.
Oh,
unbelievable! Tell you what, for anyone out there that's any in the psychology game, just please get in touch at mailbag.com.au. These two boys need help.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm completely mentally fucked, but you know. But we do keep winning, so things are.
Yeah, whatever we're doing is working, and I don't know how you'd measure it, but I'd like to have a head-to-head versus Shane Ciurleo for head noirs. We're all sufferers of head noirs in one way or the other at the mailbag.
Can I just point out, Kills doesn't need any head noise. You did basically declare Jonker on the preview show. It went halved in price and never losing.
That was me.
Yeah. I owe you a slab too.
I'm off the piss, so you're lucky. Yeah, wasn't it great to see D Moore reply to Jack's post on Twitter, even though Jack didn't tag him? Full credit to D Moore for searching out his own name there and having a little reply. That was full credit areas. I loved it. But what D Moore said in the reply is what it looks like is happening on race day. He fucking tries hard for punters and connections, and that's why we love D Moore.
I think he, John Allen, and Linda Meach are 3 of the greatest stories in racing. I think what Linda Meach is doing, like having watched a female give birth and be a mum, holy shit. Like, she's competing at the highest level of sport and dominating, and she's given fuck all opportunity.
Yeah, and I think the fact is that regardless of what sport or what sex or what age, having some significant amount of time away from the top level and then coming back and just slotting back in and dominating the way she has says a lot about her ability and the ability of her competitors, because she has just not missed a beat. Well, she just comes back and doesn't miss a beat, and we're still talking about the same jocks getting held up and fucking up.
Yeah. But I think like racing needs to learn that this, like, they are relatable and they are champions and they're seasoned human beings who have done shit, been through shit, and appreciate what they've got and are less likely to fuck it up. So put more of your content pressure on them as opposed to the young superstars who are yet to live their lives and make mistakes like everyone does.
One thing that hasn't been mentioned, which it should, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one that almost forgot that Jamie Carr and Ben Mellon ride in Melbourne. The game has continued on without them. So I echo your sentiment, Jack. Just like congratulate and focus on what's happening, not fucking what isn't happening.
Let's quickly, like, anything else about the Manikato other than absolutely full credit to D Moore. That was a really, really good ride. He was half slow away and could have just ridden the horse within its comfort zone and wouldn't have won.
Yep.
He dug it up, used it up, and won another Group 1. He's absolutely airborne. And you can tell that when he speaks after it, even if, I don't know, because we backed it, but if you didn't, you'd half be going, a little bit like John Allen in the Cox Plate. You're going, oh, good on him.
Yep. That was an outstanding ride, outstanding win, and I'm glad I found it. It was good.
See that? The eye there. Righto.
No, full credit. There was, not that anyone gives a fuck, but there was one interesting piece to come out of Queensland this week.
What was that?
Remember that horse Kubrick that won the time-honoured Bondi Stakes?
Yeah.
2 years to the day, it wins and returns an equal career best of negative 6.8, which was in fact the figure it returned to win the time-honoured Bondi Stakes exactly 2 years prior.
That was Abdallah up the fence. I remember it.
Yeah, scraping paint.
Scraping paint.
I remember Abdallah coming off, getting interviewed post-race and said, the race is $1 million. Of course, I was knocking down the inside rail to take the run. Anyway, full credit to Uncle Chris, who was able to get Kubrick to produce a 2-year PB on the day.
In a Class 6 at Doomben.
Time honoured.
I think we're actually going to send a bit of full credit Colonel to the full credit Uncle.
What's happening?
A little bit of recruiting.
Oh, interesting.
That was
out of the box.
That was the
Zinger
highlight.
box. You know, bit of thinking.
I can imagine he'll just be putting that straight in the bin. You'd have to think.
Especially
imagine being a mug. Imagine being a mug and not backing Kiri. 650 into 480 as well, mind you. Like how?
What would you do if KFC just shut up at your workplace, Uber Eats?
Well, my workplace is either here or home, so it wouldn't be sort of a great shock. With the amount of Uber Eats I sort of get.
I wouldn't eat it.
You wouldn't eat it? Fascinating.
All right, this is good content. What's your week ahead, boys? You've got Swan Hill tomorrow, Bendigo Cup Wednesday. Exciting.
I know what we got.
Are you back on
We've
course
got Bendigo
Jacko?
on Wednesday, which will be good.
Is Jackson going to be on
nice
course? Is he driving out there?
No way. Gonna keep him fresh for a big cup week.
No, we might be on track on the weekend. Pending. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we might send Das to Cranbourne to do the night meeting.
I'm just out there in the car park at Trios.
Yeah.
Just doing his best.
Yeah, you can babysit him.
Audible Thursday, Kilmore, Cranbourne Friday, Derby Day, Flemington Saturday, Mornington and Mortlake on Sunday. And then Cup week next week. So it all rolls on.
You didn't mention Swan Hill.
Tomorrow.
I need you guys to find another Swan Hill system for me because where's my old Hobson at Swan Hills? 0 from his last 39.
Is he?
Well,
When the river runs
does that
dry,
mean he's going to turn? Because we
to the scene of the crime.
had the cup week and Danny owes 2 from his last 50.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm glad that you're still in the racing media, Jack, because you're the only one talking about him. Oh, he'll turn eventually. It'll turn. Geez, it turned yesterday, didn't it? Embolism. How many downhill turns can one stable take?
Mate, if we keep saying how bad he's going, he's never going to come on the show. Please.
Oh, what a shock.
Embolism was 290 to 230 as well, so.
Yeah, and like ridden perfectly to the pattern and just...
It's like the P. Moody money. Like he's one horse off a Queenslander and Oxy Road ran a big race. Other than that, they never hit, but they're always backed.
Anyway, find a new system for me, please, because Hobson at Swan Hill needs to be reassessed. My week's absolutely fucking brilliant. Basically got nothing. I've got Ipswich Wednesday.
It's taken him 35 minutes, but he's just starting to warm up here, the big fella, the big Queenslander.
The Nurofen cold and flus are starting to kick in. Kilcoy Friday. And then Saturday, because it's Derby Day, every fucking race club in Queensland's holding a meeting. There's Bow Desert, Gold Coast, Dolby, Eagle Farm to Woomba.
Oh, only 5.
Anyway, what's your week look like, Peter?
Well, we've got 15 mils of rain. We've got 6 mils of rain today, 15 tomorrow, possibly 15 on Wednesday. Last week with that forecast, they moved the meeting from Ascot to Northam, but they're racing at Northam this Thursday, so they can't go Wednesday and Thursday at Northam. So they're just...
Well, could they?
Well, no, they just decided they're going to race at Ascot.
They might. There's only you and like 4 other blokes betting there properly.
Yeah, and look, to be honest, I might just sleep through the whole meeting. But 13 metre rail at Ascot, first wet day of the year that it's going to be handling. 7 races only. Ooh, watch out, punters. Here we go. This is actually my lowest turnover month in history, and I'm not surprised. It's been shithouse as well. But you can't lose if you don't bet. It's a solid theory.
Yeah, that's smart. Come up on yourself, mate, or just you read that somewhere?
Yeah, I got it when I worked at Sky briefly.
Hey, if horses go fast early, and then they go pretty fast late, more often than not, they're going to go fast overall.
Yeah.
Great week for narrative, guys. Anyway, full credit to the Jacks. It was great to see you blokes have a strip out Wednesday and then bounce back like true champions. It was brilliant.
Thanks, mate.
It was brilliant. Great
It's
betting.
a lot nicer now, isn't he, once those drugs have kicked in?
Have kicked in. No, it was brilliant. Full credit to you. And obviously on the big stage too. This is not just a backwater meeting in Swan Hill.
We were sitting here before just by ourselves, like figuratively, like sort of Dutch ruddering, just talking about how great we are.
Yeah.
And how great the week was. And like, my favourite bet was the one at Ballarat, the big roughie that sort of got us going. I just need that momentum. I need the momentum to shift. So like when we've had a 10-unit strip and then all of a sudden 12 units jumps in, $20 winner, I'm right. But you waited till Friday night for Jonker.
Yeah. That was nice.
Must be great just betting the one meeting on Saturday. Must be so good. I had
It is.
I think I backed like 12 winners. No, I didn't. I backed a few winners, and then like the 4 big bets I have all get fucked, and then somehow win while lying in bed all day, betting from bed, with Vicks up my nose and on my feet and in my rectum and everywhere, trying to get this cold out of me. I don't know how.
Like, does she put you into your own ward or what? Like,
won't come to him.
No, like his partner at least. I'm wondering if like he gets kicked into the garage bed or she's somewhere else.
No, I've got a fold out bed in my office here.
Yeah, so he's just been
just move the desk back, fold the bed out, lie there, just try and win somehow.
Find a way. Full credit to you for just keeping on going.
Full credit to everyone. It's bloody great going.